Morning, good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to, watching on YouTube and Facebook. Say something real, family. And we're going to do a little bit of that today. Real talk. The, the studio is full, bruhs everywhere. We got Clark Kent on this side.
You fool!
We got Clark Kent on this side of the,
It's not the same.
studio today.
He needs to carry behind
Hey,
that.
go back there and yell it out,
man.
You gotta go back there and yell it out.
I mean, that was
feeling
kind of, he did who you with, but it was kind of soft. You couldn't really hear it. See, that's what happened when you sit by Debo.
Yeah. I get it.
Oh, wait. Can't talk crazy about Debo.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, he looked out, didn't he?
He want me some Boston baked beans. Wait, not 1, 2, 4, 6. I'm eating all 6 boxes today. Oh my God.
You hear what Clark said?
What'd he say?
What'd you say, Clark? That's sad.
No, it ain't.
So they mine.
No, it ain't. I don't do this every day. Boy, it's like a porterhouse been dropped in front of me. I don't get to do this every day. Man, he done brought up my man Keon's memory.
Oh yeah.
And you can't see him. Can't see him and not think of my baby.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, when he came in, he was like, oh, yeah, got something for you. But then, typical bruhs.
I ain't did nothing now.
Nah, I ain't talking about you.
Oh, okay.
Well, you ain't bring me nothing.
Oh.
I like lemon heads.
I like lemon
I ain't calling no names.
For the record.
Superman. I ain't calling no names.
Just for the record, I like lemon heads.
I like lemon heads.
Because your man got his Rice Krispie treat.
What Carvey say? What Carvey say, Debo?
What?
I've got candy.
Got candy. Don't you never do that again. Would you like to buy some water?
Carvey outside talking to some strange little kids.
I've got candy.
candy. We was like, boy, is you crazy? The police is on their way. So, so I want to thank Debo for the immensely thoughtful thing of bringing me baked beans. And I guess he said, let me just lock her in for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
this ain't gonna last a day.
I know.
I'll be singing Make It Last Forever as I pop another one. Because when I tell you this right here, woo, this gone right here, baby. It's so sick. And I tell people, it's not the big things. It's the thoughtful things. When you take time to know somebody. He could have handed me $10 and said, go get you breakfast. Wouldn't have meant the same thing as you strolling in here with Boston baked beans. Totally. Tell people all the time. That's why I don't like giving gift cards and a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, let me figure out who these people are, what I know about them, and do something that shows that, hey, I'm paying attention. So thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
You're
welcome.
Welcome.
Let me say, I heard from Superman. What up, J Money? How you doing today, bro?
Oh, boy.
Today is Thursday, which is your Friday.
Yeah, true.
Before I get into that, say I'm doing good. I'm feeling fine. I'm looking fine. And with all that above, I age with time. You understand?
Do you?
So,
do you age with time?
Yeah.
Because most people don't. You do that?
I age with time.
Okay. Just want everybody let that sink in for a minute.
It went over your head.
He ages
with time.
with time. The
See,
profoundest of that observation. You age with time.
So, Shell
never fails. Greenfield.
See.
What? Go ahead. I got you.
I just want to say that it's going to be a beautiful day today.
I
It's
heard like
supposed to
77.
be 80s. It's supposed to be in the 80s, like 84, 85 today.
See, I tell people when I leave the house, it's usually like 58, 60. So I always got a sweatshirt on.
Yeah.
By the time I get off the air, like I go home and
nice outside
and jump out of this. But the day catch me and my schedule is such that I don't go home. Man, I'm stopping at the store. I ain't gonna be hot.
Oh, you gonna stop
I'm stopping at the store. I got more gear that I done bought on the hum because I'm like, no, I can't go all the way back home.
Yeah.
But I will definitely go get me a piece. So well, good. Jay.
But other than that, man, I'm feeling good. Jubilant, vibrant.
All right.
And
jubilant.
Yeah, jubilant.
Hey.
Define that.
Get off the
I
vocab.
define it, brother.
Jubilant for
See, what you fail to realize, I graduated with 3.5. I just act like this, brother.
You just act like this?
I just act like this.
All I asked you to do was define it.
No.
For those of us that may not know.
I ain't gonna get into it.
I'm saying for those of us that may not know what that is.
Messy, how you doing today, bro? How you doing?
I'm jubilant this morning.
Oh, he jubilant.
Who's good?
No, I'm good. I'm just elated to be here with my co-workers. It is another beautiful day. And I'll say it again, just as the funeral director would say, I'm still riding up front.
There you go.
So I'm blessed.
All right.
Let's ride.
Well, I'm just gonna say, okay, wonderful. Well, all right. I'm gonna get you. What?
Are you still riding up front this morning?
You know, sometimes.
Are you still riding up front this morning? I'm asking a question.
Can they answer if they not?
If
you know what? Y'all gonna start having these moments of brilliance. Are you still riding up front?
Are you still riding up front?
Can I answer?
If you do answer,
if I can answer clearly, I am.
Yeah, because if you answer
and you not.
Now, see, you want to make it all.
No.
Science and
you made it all simpleton. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. So look, let me do a couple things because people asked me for some follow-up information. So I want to make sure I do that this morning. First of all, there are people that reached out again about this event that I mentioned that was happening over at America's Black Holocaust Museum. And no, take it back. It's over at Village Square Library, Village Square Branch Library. But it looks like the Black Holocaust Museum and Milwaukee Public Library are collaborating to make this happen. So it was the work that local historian Reggie Jackson, award-winning, let me put that in there because you don't want to mess over nobody's accolades, for a series that he is doing discussing Milwaukee's history of segregation and its ongoing impact on housing, education, and equity. The name of this presentation is called Midwest Nice Apartheid with Reggie Jackson. Midwest Nice, and that in of itself is a phrase that I became acquainted with a while ago. And, people would say, folks, smile in your face and block your loan, smile in your face and know they never going to rent that apartment to you. Smile in your face and throw your job application in the garbage. So, I have heard the Midwest Nice phrase before. Midwest Nice apartheid, though. I am looking forward to that discussion. I'm going to see if I can dash over and catch some of it. So it is on Saturday, October 4th, happening from 12 to 2 p.m. over at the Villard. I'm sorry. You know what? No, my son just texted me. You know what, little boy? You're going to get enough for playing with me. He said, your toupee looks good this morning.
Not to Steve Harvey. Not to Steve Harvey.
You know what? That's all right, bro. Dude, you act like you ain't got to see me.
That laugh out of nowhere was hilarious, dude.
I mean, I'm telling you, because I just happened to see it. I looked down. He get on my nerves. I don't like that little boy.
Oh, man.
Act just like his daddy. I don't like him. But all right, so it was not that funny.
No, it was just your reaction because you was reading it and then you just bust out laughing with something else.
Because he ridiculous, man. He'll never, it ain't never no substance. Never no substance. Always nonsense. All right, so that's that. The other thing I wanted to take a moment and mention. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, right here. So the Legislative Black Caucus at the state level, Wisconsin Legislative Black Caucus, is having a statewide, or this is the last leg on their statewide listening tour. It is entitled Building a Black Policy Agenda, and it is happening today, this evening from 5 to 7 p.m. at Century City Tower, 4201 in North 27th Street. So right up here off Capitol and 27th Street. In the first floor presentation room is where it is being held. Now they did have a registration link. I don't know. I think if people show up, you should be able to still be admitted. But the link, and I wasn't going to give it because it's kind of long, but it is link, linktr .ee/ the Wisconsin Black Caucus. And the first letter in each of those words, even though they are strung together, are capitalized. So link tr.ee/ the Wisconsin Black Caucus. The T, the W, the B, and the C, first letter in each of those words, are capitalized. If you have questions or, don't want to do all that and you want to just call a number to register, the contact information on the flyer that I saw was Senator Drake at legis.wisconsin.gov. Or there's a phone number. Haven't said that number in a long time. 608-266-5810. 608-266-5810. So again, the Wisconsin Legislative Black Caucus, they have been going around the city. Around the state. I think this was the last stop in a 4-stop tour that has been talking about building a Black policy agenda. So if you are interested in attending that, 4201 North 27th Street. And again, it is the Century City Tower. All right. So I want to make sure folks were aware of that as well. All right. With that being said, someone had asked me about a book that I had talked about a while ago, and I had to go dig and find this information because I was like, what was I saying? But I mentioned this book called Priceless Facts About Money. Melody Hobson, who I am, a major fan of, this sister in terms of money is the truth. And I appreciate the work that she does. So she wrote a book because I talked about being able to start talking about financial literacy with your children early in life and being able to help them understand, the importance of money, the power of money, importance of good credit, and what you can do when your financial house is in order. And so she has written a children's book to encourage financial literacy. But I remember Oprah Winfrey, when she interviewed her, she said, but there were things that Oprah Winfrey, learned from her book. And I believe that adults will learn as much as these children. Even, and I think the example Oprah gave was, I had no idea where the word greenbacks came from when you talk about money. And so just, like some nuanced things and fun facts, but also the ability to demystify money so that kids understand, how money makes the world go round, which also is interesting because as we look at bills in the legislature, local and federal, that are talking about American currency and whether or not individuals, businesses are required to accept American currency. And, we ended up finding out that they are not. They don't have to take your actual physical money. When we've seen all these policies crop up about cashless financial transactions. So that book, again, Priceless Facts About Money. Melanie Hobson is the CEO and president of Ariel Investments, the first African-American owned mutual fund company in the U.S. Lead independent director of Starbucks Corporation and serves on the board of directors at JP Morgan Chase. Princeton University is her alma mater, and she is building, Princeton University, her alma mater, is building a new residential college in her name. Did you hear what I just said? Princeton is building a new residential college in her name. The first to be named after a Black woman. Time magazine had her on the list of 100 most influential people. And y'all know who George Lucas is, the filmmaker? That's actually her husband. So it is one of those things that I'm glad to know that people remember some of the stuff that I say. And actually, the person who reached out to me, they are getting their Christmas gifts together. And this is a grandparent who said that she has high school age grandchildren. And the goal is to make sure that she is giving meaningful gifts. She's being very intentional this year. And Teresa, I know I needed to get that to you as well. One of our listeners, she asked about the book list that I had talked about one day on the show. And so, yeah, some kids going to get a ton of books to be able to help them navigate their journey and get along their way. So I absolutely love it. And she's a woman after my own heart. She said she planned to be done with Christmas shopping before Halloween. So all that stress, that pressure, you can kick back, enjoy the holidays while everybody's still trying to figure it out. So I just wanted to make sure I took a moment and acknowledge that. Okay, hang on. The person who wanted to know one more time about the give me 1 second. I switched out of it. What time did I say that meeting was today? 1 second. Yeah. Oh, I think it was 5. 5. Hang on, let me be sure. The meeting is 5 to 7. 5 to 7. That is the statewide listening tour, Wisconsin Legislative Black Caucus, building a Black policy agenda. So that is happening from 5 to 7 today. So you got time to get off work, get the kids home. Some of you, I encourage you, bring the kids, be able to see Black elected officials, actually hear the discussions. It will be interesting to hear what people envision for a Black policy agenda, getting everybody on one page, or, agreeing on at least a few set upon things that we need to be focused on is important. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how some of this stuff plays out. All right. With that being said, a couple of things I do need to talk about because trying to understand the impact on area residents. I know a couple of people had hit me up about it. Michelle, are you paying attention to what's going on with Ascension, which, insurance provider, and that they are now no longer in a network for patients and health insurance that's offered through United Healthcare as of yesterday. There were negotiation and contracts discussions, and the two sides could never get together and have an agreement on the contract. So what does that mean? Is that it's going to be disruptive for some folks. I'm looking at the article they had in the newspaper, and concerning for patients. They are, going to be trying to help people figure out what these changes and effects mean. But basically, members enrolled in this plan, Medicare or Medicaid, who receive care at Ascension, Wisconsin, hospitals, clinics, or other locations, as well as associated practices of the Ascension Medical Group, which is me, there's going to be some problems. In a statement, United Healthcare officials said Ascension, Wisconsin was demanding, quote, unsustainable price hikes that would increase healthcare costs for consumers and employers. Ascension, Wisconsin declined our latest proposal, which offered market competitive rates, and chose to leave our network, is what was said by someone by the name of Dustin Hinton, who's the chief executive over at United Healthcare of Wisconsin. They said that we also propose extending the contracts to allow members continued network access to Ascension while we continue discussions. Ascension refused. So again, what this could look like. Some patients might have to switch your doctors because your doctors will no longer be in the network. Patients are also being asked to rethink their upcoming healthcare appointments. Not sure how some of this will play out for you. What is going to be covered, what is not going to be covered at these particular pre-scheduled appointments that happen prior to them leaving the network. And you got to be able to make sure you are signing up for a plan in which, you now have covered providers. And so I'm just telling people, because there was something in here that referenced it. Let me see, where was it? In short term, asking the patients to rethink upcoming appointments. Quote, it absolutely puts people in this impossible situation where you signed up for a plan that you thought covered your provider, and it turns out it doesn't for 3 months. That was interesting. So United Healthcare nation's largest healthcare insurer and a major player in Wisconsin. Ascension, a national health system based in Missouri with a heavy presence in Wisconsin and Fox Valley. If you have any of these things, I need you to be paying attention. Some patients undergoing treatment may be able to continue seeing their doctor at in-network rates for a limited time. Those patients should contact United Healthcare to ask about eligibility for continuity of care and how to apply. According to the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, patients who may qualify are those who, quote, are undergoing treatment for a serious and complex illness, undergoing institutional or inpatient care, scheduled to get non-elective surgery, pregnant and undergoing treatment, or are terminally ill. For patients who don't qualify for continuity of care, you are being advised against seeking out-of-network care in non-emergency situations, because that means you're going to be paying for it. Your insurance will not cover that bill. You will be paying for it. This disruption also comes as open enrollment is nearing. So I got to get ready to take a break real quick. Okay, I'll hit that real quick. I'll go back in a moment. But the silver lining, according to one of the folks in the article, is that open enrollment process is beginning when people can make changes to their healthcare plans and sign up for new coverage. So you won't get caught in this weird window where that open enrollment period is closed and you may feel like you are stuck. For patients in the Ascension system, they will want to look for plans and insurers that cover Ascension. But that can be quite difficult. Switching plans in general, it may mean paying more money. So shop around, take the time within the obviously open enrollment period and make the best decisions for you. This whole thing has been playing out for months and people have been watching it. And the bad part is I was just having this conversation with one of my people the other day, and she was just talking about, I got to find another doctor again. My place keeps losing a doctor, or different places I build up a rapport and a relationship with the doctor, and then all of a sudden they're out of the network, they're not available anymore, and I got to start all over again. So there are a lot of people that were watching this. We have arrived at this moment. You should be getting those notifications that how you've been impacted if you are dealing with any of these carriers. And hopefully somebody just said I moved one appointment up before the deadline, canceled another, and in open enrollment. I will leave United Healthcare and keep my great doctors. Wondering what this does to prescriptions during transition and premium payments. These are all great questions. You know what? I'm going to see if I can reach out and get an interview, at least with United Healthcare. I don't know what Ascension will do, but I'll reach out. We still got some contacts from when I worked in the legislature, so we can see if we can hear directly from people to help kind of walk listeners through this situation, this change. All right, family, I need to take a quick break. When we come back, we got to talk budgets at every level, city, county, federal. Haven't even paid attention to state stuff, but we got to talk budgets, got to make people understand what's going on. Somebody just hit me up. They said United Healthcare sent papers to apply for the extension. Patients should have had their doctor complete them and return to United Healthcare. Call them if you think you should be granted one and haven't received confirmation. You all are amazing. Thank you for the information. All right, take a quick break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Y'all, I'll be right back. All right, family, before I jump into some of this local stuff, let me just peruse the nation and hit up a couple of hot spots that, I just think that speak to the time that we are in, how janky, jacked up, messed up some of our situations are in relationship to how we are operating as a unit in terms of the country. We are in day 2 of the shutdown. Okay. Don't look like nobody moving. According to political pundits, the belief is that Donald Trump is like hedging his bets that Democrats will fold and give us what we want. Keep the pressure on them. Make sure that they are being blamed in every interview that you can. We just know that 2 of them and 1 independent already voted with us. We just got to break off 4 more, and we can get what we want. Okay. We can get what we want. Oh, and if that doesn't work, if the Senate Democrats won't come to the table on at least a 7-week stopgap budget funding proposal, and we make no concessions to Democrats, we give them nothing. We just 7 weeks, then we can still talk about Affordable Care Act subsidies before they're set to expire change in December. Oh, but if these Democrats won't come, let's start messing with the money in a district. So many of you may have seen that Donald Trump went after $18 billion in funding that had already been appropriated by Congress under the Biden administration for infrastructure projects in the city of New York. Who represents the city of, or, the state of New York? Chuck Schumer, Senate, Hakeem Jeffries, House of Representatives. So now I'm playing in your backyard so that your immediate constituents feel the pain of you not coming to the table and negotiating with us, and that they will turn on y'all and start calling and writing and pressuring, the elected officials from New York to get on board with whatever Trump is trying to do, because we have major infrastructure projects that need to be completed. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The thing, though, some of these projects are projects that were intended to shore up national security. New York, who was hypersensitive, hey, Shelby, hypersensitive to the aftermath of 9/11. If you're going to try to target U.S. cities, New York is one of the prime places you go. So some of this infrastructure funding was intended to shore up their tunnel systems, to make sure that in terms of technology, they had what they need in their buildings to be able to be safe. Okay. Why would you, as the president of the United States and responsible members of Congress that support this nonsense, be willing to risk the infrastructure of one of your largest cities in the nation? And we know what people went through and the different scares and attacks on 9/11. Jay, it looks like you want to say something, bro.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, can he legally do that?
So there is decisions that are going to be made in terms of the courts who step in, because New York is going to pursue, relief in the courts to say, hey, this money was already appropriated. Right. These projects are underway. You cannot just stop what's happening, because this $18 billion to fund a new rail tunnel beneath the Hudson River between New York City and New Jersey, and an extension of the city's 2nd Avenue subway is part of this whole thing. And what Trump has said officially Not that I'm using this as leverage and pressure to get the 2 New York representatives and leaders, quite frankly, on the Democratic side of the aisle to kowtow to my demands. He has said, we're cutting the $18 billion because we need to review whether or not any of this violates the administration's DEI policies, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. So let me just be clear. So you potentially stop $18 billion in infrastructure projects on tunnels from New York to New Jersey, extension of a subway project, because you are worried that they may have anything in this project that speaks to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, wait, in the most diverse city we probably have in the nation. So you're going to risk all of that because you want to make sure nobody is doing anything that might help Black and brown people, that might help women, that might help small Black-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses. And this is the thing. I listened this morning as a member of Congress was being questioned by a CNN anchor. And the question posed to this congressman is, but this was money already appropriated. Are you okay with Donald Trump being able to single-handedly usurp the power of Congress in these budgetary decisions that were already made? You know what my man said? Yeah, I'm all right with that. Because I didn't agree with everything Biden did anyway. So if he wants to go and claw back money, even though contracts have been signed, firms brought on, tons of millions of dollars has already been spent in terms of the construction plans and architectural firms and, all kinds of stuff that had already had to happen to get to this point in the project. And literally this representative, and I didn't catch his name, but he sat there with the straightest of faces and he said, yeah, I'm all right with that. So then if all it requires is every time Congress passes some type of budget spending bill, makes decisions for the next administration to come in and say, yeah, I want people only who have locks in their hair to work on your project. So this doesn't meet my requirements. And or everybody needs to be clean shaven and not have any beards. I can cancel the project. So what can you rely on? Think about all of these local organizations right here. I think about Cothi was one of them, and I got to get them in here. You changed the policy about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And all of these groups who had already been awarded these grants under the previous administration built this into their operating budget, have been told, oh, that money not coming. But I've hired staff. I've used money to pay off other things that I could have held on to if I didn't know the money wasn't going to be there. But you promised me, you told me we had an agreement. We got signed contracts. And, Republicans, the president, the renegger in chief. Yeah, we ain't got to honor that. I don't like that. I'm 79 years old, white and cranky, and I ain't gotta acknowledge none of that. I ain't gotta do none of that. I want to go back to, the cowboy days when, we was just a wild, wild west. You shoot them out, kill them up, do what you want to. They spit, we hit. It's my way to highway, Jack. I don't like what Congress did. I don't like what Biden did. And I got a Congress that's weak and soft and not willing to stand up and do what the Constitution intended that branch of the government to do. But I'm just looking at Republicans like, your turn is going to come back around, right? Nothing lasts forever. At some point, you will be in the minority again. But see, what Republicans count on is that Democrats ain't dirty. That's what they count on. They count on that Democrats will not go as low as they will go. Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. That's what they counting on. And so they're like, well, we'll worry about that when we get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for right now, yeah, we're not going to do nothing. We're going to let this man tear up this country and give him everything he wants that we can let him get by with. If it means keeping him off our back and making fun of me, belittling me, and getting my base to, to not support me. Like he ran Paul Ryan out of town, and he targets, Republicans that don't carry his water fully and destroys them. So that's what they worried about, their personal situation. They're not worried about the constituents that they serving. They're worried about like the Republicans in Texas that are okay, and other states that are okay with Black people in Texas not having a voice, brown people in Texas not having a voice, even though the reason you getting extra congressional seats was because the numbers in those populations increased. But y'all figured out a way to give all those additional seats to white people. Even though white people weren't responsible for the population growth. So you have these people that every day play in our faces, concede power, and allow this man to do anything he wants as long as they are good. They individually, my household continues to get that little $180,000 check or whatever it is you get when you work in the House of Representatives and the Senate, that I still have, access to all the most powerful people in the country and the world because of the seats I sit in. Like, they are protecting their way of life, their household income, their budget. They're not protecting the nation. They're not even protecting their constituents. It's Republicans who know dang well when they was pushing through that fake, big, beautiful bill that if the truth got told, many of their own Republican conservative constituents were going to be harmed. They did not care. They did not care. So we are watching. Somebody asked me yesterday, they said, Michelle, like, really, how long do you think this thing could drag out? I told him, let me be honest. I don't know. There are people who feel like there are 4 Democrats that will cave. I'm going to just tell y'all, I don't know. People were very upset because really only 2 Democrats, to the point that a couple of people make sure they made yesterday. The other, individuals and independent. And John Fetterman can't be counted on, to take the trash out. So I don't have nothing for John Fetterman. It's like 0. I wish, he gets primaried and is out of there because he just is irritating to me. But I don't know, because Democrats took a beating after they did not fight harder on this, that big, beautiful nonsense that got passed. They took a beating. They literally had their behind whooped. So I need people, as we are talking about this stuff and paying attention to what's happening around us, that we have to be also telling the truth. That what this man is doing continues again to be vindictive and small and petty. He is using the government and the levers of government has his own personal gang to beat up on anybody that he doesn't like. We just saw the announcement that another career law enforcement official with DOJ loses his job, and people believe in great part because some fake post was put out by a MAGA supporter connecting him to James Comey, and everybody was like, this man didn't have anything to do with that. But you a career official and you lose your job. And it's just like, these people have no regard no regard for what is on the receiving end of these decisions. Again, that same legislator, I got to go back and pull it up during the break to see who that was talking. He was asked the question, so what did you think about Donald Trump putting out the meme with Hakeem Jeffries with the sombrero on and the mustache? And he said, people need to toughen up and get thick skin. But when everybody has something to say about Charlie Kirk, all y'all start crying. Couldn't nobody say nothing about Charlie Kirk. But yeah, now we need to toughen up. Get thick skin. When you're in politics, people will come after you. Somebody's going to probably put a meme out about me. I chuckled and I moved on. And the interviewer said, well, I guess I just wonder how the people that's impacted by the shutdown feel about those kind of tactics right now, that you are intentionally antagonizing the people that you need to come to the table to take care of this shutdown. So I wonder how many Americans right now are laughing with y'all silly, too old for this nonsense people when their lives are hanging in the balance. How many people laughing with y'all that, just found out yesterday that they furloughed and they off work, and that potentially, if Donald Trump does not get his way, y'all ain't never coming back. They estimate there will be hundreds of thousands of employees, federal employees, that will not return to their jobs. He is going to permanently, and J.D. Vance, well, we don't want to do it. But, if the Democrats don't come to the table, we are going to, have to do what we can to protect, the basic services of the American people. No, they're not going to have health care that they can afford. And no, the hungry people won't have enough, SNAP benefits to be able to feed them. And it's the Democrats' fault because they won't give us everything we want. They won't accept and acknowledge that we don't have to work collectively and cooperatively as legislators, even though that's what we're paid to do. We're going to, just start wearing T-shirts up underneath our suits that say my way or the highway, and everybody else be damned. That's where we are. That's where we are. And when I mentioned the man fired at the Justice Department under erroneous circumstances, I want y'all to be clear. The National Security Prosecutor. This is the top national security prosecutor in the country, Eastern District of Virginia. This is the man I'm talking about right now, Michael Benari. He was fired yesterday after this Trump activist falsely put out that he was connected to former FBI Director James Comey. Do you know how cold you got to be, hopefully, to rise to the level of top national security prosecutor for the United States of America, and the knowledge and institutional information that you have? Like, do you understand the weight of that position? And Donald Trump just fired him. The top ethics chief, Joseph Terrell, who advised the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General on ethics matters, got fired in July. The termination letter did not provide a reason for his dismissal. These people have dedicated years working in these roles. And you just realize that because some people on some personal petty BS, that your whole life gets turned upside down. Like what Donald Trump and them did. I'm trying to remember the one guy, he was nearing retirement and Trump fired him before like his retirement thing could kick in or something. It was like a few months or days or something. It was so crazy. And everybody was like, just mean spirited. I want to break you. The Civil Rights Division, caller, I'm coming, but the Civil Rights Division staff, which enforces anti-discrimination laws, has lost hundreds of employees. When I say hundreds, they have lost over 60% of their workforce since January of this year. I don't want anybody working for the federal government that can investigate claims of discrimination, particularly if it's claims from Black and brown and minority people. I'm interested in reverse white discrimination. 60% of a department is gone. Caller, I'm coming. Special counsel staff. The DOJ fired around 20 employees who work for the special counsel office, Jack Smith. Remember Jack Smith, who was doing the January 6th investigation? Jack Smith, who was looking at the classified documents that was being held down in Mar-a-Lago. Those employees were targeted by Pam Bondi. They gone. DOJ career staff gone. The pardon attorney. In March 2025, Liz Oyer, the U.S. pardon attorney and a career DOJ official, was fired after allegedly resisting pressure to restore actor Mel Gibson's gun ownership rights. You lose your job as a career professional. You are the U.S. pardon attorney. And they fired her because she didn't give crazy cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs Mel Gibson, who is at one time have been considered a threat to himself and society. So what was the Passion of the Christ? Man was crazy because she didn't give him back his gun rights. She got fired.
Well, didn't he have an incident that happened on a movie set and that was why his guns was taken away from him?
I don't know that the movie set was what's his face?
So it wasn't Mel Gibson.
It wasn't Mel Gibson.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That was I can't think. Baldwin.
Alex Baldwin.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Immigration judges, Megan Jackler, Brandon Jarrett, abruptly fired in February. Both are disabled veterans and had received positive performance reviews. The firings prompted legal challenges and questions about the reasons for their removal. Immigration judges, formerly, people who have served this country, disabled, perhaps in the line of duty, has served this country, fired. Head of the Office of Professional Responsibility, removed in 2025. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
I know you are. Michelle.
Yes, ma'am.
What I call for now, I get up early and I see what's happening to the United States. And I'm just listening to you and you're speaking of everything that's going down. Michelle, that's all in the playbook, though. Project 2025.
Yes.
And they got a Project 2030 coming up. Especially that's going to really attack the voting and all of that. Why don't these people start reading? Because all this stuff where they make it racialized, we're going to put the military in the central city and all this stuff. I mean, how are you going to put the military on your people in the United States?
Because they're not your people. They're not your people. Donald Trump don't see these people that live in these cities that look like us, Black and brown people. They're not his people.
That's right. But we're people anyway.
We are the enemy within. We're not his people.
Do we pay taxes?
You talking about semantics, and that's no. Are you talking about Black?
Oh,
are you talking about
the Black
Hispanic,
people,
Latino? Are you? But I'm talking about your skin color. Are you talking about Black?
Right.
Are you talking about Hispanic, Latino? Do you speak Spanish? You're not Donald Trump's people.
Right.
We are not his people. He don't give no damn about harming us. We are not his people.
Mm-hmm. But they get a paycheck off of us.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
I'm talking about. And look at the money. Look at the net worth. These people. Look at the money they make. Look at the insurance benefits they get. And even though they have businesses, they can go take a break in the summer and go speak at graduations and all this stuff and make money. And they have businesses. Their wives have businesses. Don't leave the women out of it because these right wing, they are something else. But I just say all of this is in the book. We better read and get on it and do the best we can because we're always the face of the enemy. Blackface is the crime, the everything. Let them tell it.
Right. Nope. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the call.
You're so right, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Look, I'm gonna go take a break. But I just think that at some point in time, you just gotta take a minute and run through all of this stuff. Because we get whiplash looking from story to story, channel to channel, report to report. What did I say? I hated that this man was coming back into office because he was going to dominate the news cycle with stupidity and nonsense and meanness and divisiveness every day. He has not failed to disappoint. He has not disappointed. I'll be right back, y'all. All right. Look, y'all, I feel terrible. Had a brother sitting out in the studio. Devo said, you got somebody sitting out there. Who? What's going on? It's like, Andre. And you can't say Andre. Lee Ellis. And he was like, yeah. He's like, did you forget? I put it down for next week. So I apologize, Dre.
I'll come twice.
And he said I'll come twice. So I apologize because I should have had that down. I feel bad. I was like, yeah, I was skating this week. I was like, nah, no guests this week. I'm chilling. But let me definitely go ahead and do this interview because I appreciate what's being done. Let me just start off by saying I am somebody that, I tell people, and in fact, Lakeisha was teasing me yesterday because I liked in the Thurgood Marshall movie when Thurgood Marshall says, I'm a race man. Because I appreciated that he was letting people know I lead, I move, I serve with my people always top of mind. I'm a race man. And so I said, I'm gonna give me a t-shirt, sweatshirt to say I'm a race man. Cause I like that. So I was looking, I go down these rabbit holes and I was looking at social media, Instagram, some stuff on Facebook. And all over the country, I have been seeing these videos of well-dressed Black men and young Black boys. And they are dinners, they are just meetups. Some of them, they're actually just a photo shoot. They wanted to be able to capture this image. You see the brothers helping young brothers put ties on and learning how to tie, talking to them about shoes. One video I saw, the brother took this young brother who was in the 9th grade, had never worn a suit, never had a shirt and tie. And he took him to the store and walked him through everything. And to watch him teach this young brother about buying a shirt according to your neck size and your arm length, how to know what your pants was supposed to be. It was the most loving and cool thing. And I'm like, this young brother will never forget this. It will help inform how you do stuff in the future, but you're going to do this hopefully one day for somebody else. And without fail, 500 Black Tuxedos immediately comes to mind. And I remember the early conversations we had about why you thought that was important to do. So let me do this first. Let me make sure that we let folks know, because I realize now I get different and new listeners to the show every day. So let me make sure we introduce you to the community, let people know what organization you are with, and then we'll talk about why we got you in this morning.
Cool.
Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, hey, it's Andre Lee Ellis.
I know you weren't waiting on me to do it.
I didn't know what was up. I'm just sitting here quiet to follow directions. I didn't want to be eating no chicken in the driver's seat. But Andre Lee Ellis, I'm the founder and executive director of CAGE, Community Agricultural Growing Experience. We are a community garden located at 1313 West Reservoir, right next to Firehouse 5. And we grow food that is free to the community, but mainly what we do is we do restorative justice with young Black men. And what I call it just us, because justice mean that they're dealing with prison and judges and stuff like that. But just us mean that we're restoring you. We're working with you. You're coming home to us, or you're never leaving us, because we're going to catch you before it happens. So that's where I'm from.
So, okay. I talk, and look, but you do so much more, I mean, there are people in the entertainment industry who know you in that light. There are folks that, they know they've gone to Garfield Days or Juneteenth or, African World Festival, someplace in point, they may have seen you hosting a stage, so you have a resume that's deep, playwright, actor, you have a resume that's deep. And the thing though, is that you bring all of that to anything you touch. So even if we talk about the garden, there is an element of intrigue and fantasy and storytelling that's wove into helping people understand why this work is important and what you're doing with these young people. Just before we move around a little bit, how has that been for people that don't know what that means when young people show up down at the cage? What does that mean, Dre?
Isaiah McCoy is a young man who is now at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And for 2 years, he's working with Cage, and other people work with him too. But Isaiah is from the 53206 zip code. And he's now at the University of Wisconsin-Madison studying agricultural science. He was the valedictorian for Obama school graduation this year and a 4.0 student. Isaiah McCoy is one of our sons that we're really, 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 really proud of. And then you have a son like K'Manuel Coleman, who started working with us and didn't realize that he wanted to be vegan after working with the vegetables. He has his own little podcast or YouTube channel that he does.
Really? You know the name of it?
Is K'Manuel the Realist One.
K'Manuel the Realist One.
And the Realist One is
one word,
TheRealesTone. And you know his dad too.
Okay. Yes.
And he's real sharp. But what I like about it is what you said about the changing of lives, what a cucumber from the ground does for a little black boy who had been shooting a gun. And then I ask him when he pulls the cucumber out of the ground, and I say, shoot a bullet out of that. Because there's something in that can go inside of your body that can help you live. Out of a gun comes something into your body that can help you die. What would you rather have? And just the taste of a new cucumber that they planted the seed to grow sparks a conversation. And then you be like Dewan, the young man that's worked with us and didn't want to do the public school system, but now he's getting his GED next month because he went to MATC to get that done. That's the kind of work that we're pushing forward. We're showing them options and changes through natural ways of living.
Okay. So you came in to that point about the cucumber. You came in bearing fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because the theme for the 500 Black Tuxedo event is our men's health, men's wealth, our community. That's what it's all about.
And so for folks that are not familiar with the concept and why you created 500 Black Men, take a second and talk about that.
Okay, little black boy saw me and my wife dressed up 7, 8, 9 years ago. COVID kind of threw it off a little bit, but he wanted to know why we were dressed up to go to dinner. And I couldn't really quite tell him why, other than I wanted to look good for my wife and just something to do. And when we went to Carson's, I wanted to know why couldn't they put on. He said, I never wore a suit to dinner and never dressed up. And I wanted to know why. So I asked Carson if we could shut that down one Saturday and have, because it seated 150 black boys and 50 men in tuxedos.
Is that where it was first
That's
held?
where it was first held. Come in. And,
how long ago was that?
And have it. That was 2015.
Okay.
And believe it or not, that was my first heart attack. That the week of that event was the first heart attack that I had, and I was in the hospital. I was not supposed to be at the event, but we won't get into that story. But I ended up there by the grace of God, and ever since then, I've not only been running for my life, but I've been running to save lives too.
So let me just ask. So since 2015, it's 10-year anniversary.
It is.
Of this event.
Well, it'll be the 7th event because of COVID.
Oh, because of COVID. My bad. So this can't be an easy thing to pull off. What happens when you have this idea? I mean, do you go round up 75 of your closest brothers and friends and say, hey, family, I'm doing this. I need y'all to come to the table. How do you make something like this happen?
You know, it's grown into its own in a way because men look forward to it, and so do some of the young brothers. But you want me to tell you who really look forward to it? The young brothers who've been to it before that are now able to pay for somebody else to come. I'm getting so many calls from young black boys that are now 18, 19, and 20, and they want to pay the registration fee for another boy to walk, and they want to mentor that son. So I round them up by calling. I call everybody. I think they see me in the call ID and say, oh, Lord, it's that black tuxedo social event thing. But don't do that, y'all. Answer my call. I need y'all.
So, I mean, I just had a moment, though, kind of that pay it forward, concept, something I've benefited from. Now I want to make sure somebody else gets this opportunity. That's actually cool, Dre.
And it's important. We need to do that on the block where we live. I have a little poem that I say to the men all the time. On the block where I live, I am the change that needs to be. On the block where I live, I'm helping to make the changes that the people need to see on the block where I live. And every man on your block, if you know a little boy, a young black boy, 12 to 17, that just may be looking like he going the wrong direction, that's the one you should pay for. You should grab him on your block, that one that you mad at, that been good, because you're going to learn something different about him in a suit than you learn about him when he's not suited, in an orange suit, in an orange jumpsuit. Let's get him out of those.
It's so crazy. You made me think about today. Tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Sean Combs is going to be standing in front of a judge who will be making a decision about sentencing on these charges that he has been convicted of. And he made a request through his lawyer that he be able to appear in court in a shirt and tie rather than that orange, jumpsuit. The piece that Mohib has just become his signature piece when he was in that orange jumpsuit.
Right.
And he starts the poem in that piece and ultimately ends up shedding it. By the time he is done, the difference that what you wear and and what you're in, how that can impact not only your mentality, but the way other people see you. So going back to the child saying, man, I never had no suit on. Why you gotta do that to take a girl out? Like, have you had conversations with any of the young men who said that? And I'm gonna be honest, I got some grown men that have never had a suit on.
Don't know how to tie a tie and won't wear one. You know what I mean? But the young man that asked me about the suit, when he graduated from high school, said, where did we rent the tuxedos from? Because I want to go rent me a tuxedo to wear to my graduation. And that's what he did for his graduation. And I often get other young men that say, I wear suits now, or I want to wear a tuxedo for something special that's coming up. So we need to really pay attention to what's impacting our young black men, but what also impacts them in the best way. A lot of young men tell me this: I get in trouble because I need somebody to listen to me. And I'd say, what do you mean by that? They always want me to be just the way they want me to be. And I already have a plan for myself, but nobody won't listen, or they'll tell me that won't work. And so I try to take a different approach. For instance, I had a kid tell me, I'm tired of walking the same way home, and it's always a problem, and it looks so bad. I said, well, go a different direction. This is another way to get to your house. You got a back door. Stop using the front door. Go to the back door. Go a different route. And then we had another conversation a few weeks later, and I said, how's walking home? He said, I go the other route. He said, because I found me a little old girlfriend around there that I talked to, and I stop and see her, and then the stores around. So he found some good things around his house. And I don't care where you live. I want to watch this. I don't care where you live or how bad it is. The goodness in you can spread and bring the change that is needed. I live on 16th and Burleigh. All around me is trouble. But on 16th Street, we really are working together to try to live. If somebody's being evicted or anything like that, them neighbors will come together and say, call community advocate. They come in there, especially if they like you. If they don't like you, they let you go on the U-Haul. Let you go on the U-Haul up out of here. But that,
and we'll pay for the U-Haul.
But young black men are humiliated in those orange jumpsuits. They don't want their family to see them on the news or on the TV. And if they have children in that orange jumpsuit, because it says you're bad, it said you did something, that you're not good enough to be out here with us. And all of the crimes aren't worthy of the orange jumpsuit or even the court time that they have them in. I've been going through it, and thank God we got some judges in there now that see a need to do something greater for the people in our community, the people that look like us. For a long time, people that didn't look like us were slamming us, and we needed somebody that understood education, and that some of the people doing criminal activity aren't going to be your MPS students. So why do you have them in there at 20 years old when you know that they're going to age out and they're never going to have a diploma? Send them down there to get that GED so they have some kind of credential that they can feel good about, because they just might do better in college than they did in high school or your public school system. Don't let me call it what I call it.
No, I hear you. And you're making me think about
I call it the MPS, the messy public school system.
I mean, it's got its good and its bad, points. But you are making me think about like a Judge Taylor who brings what she definitely did in the legislature, but I think just who she is as a person, to be able to say, okay, so what's next? This moment has happened. This bad thing, this thing that brought you into my courtroom that has impacted your life, gotten you a ticket, gotten you arrested. This has happened. But this isn't the end of the world. So what do we need to do that you don't end up back in front of me again? So when she calls me, I'm looking for resources for X, Y, and Z. She'll call other people and be like, hey, I got a young man who said he's interested in the trades. Who I need to get him connected to. And you don't have to do that as a judge. But to see somebody who says, I'm not here just to process these cases. I'm here to also help change our community and make it a healthier, safer place to be. And I can't do that if I'm never willing to see the people standing in front of me. So that's just something that I don't know, how many judges are like that. I've never had to go before judges or anything downtown, but I know for her that it makes a difference to people that come through her courtroom.
And not just for her, but I also work with Judge Cagle, Katie Cagle. I work with Judge Raina Morales.
Okay.
I work with Judge Carl Ashley, and many of
the Judge don't be in the courtroom.
He don't be in the courtroom,
right.
But I can give him a call.
Right.
And if I can maneuver or get some things happening that I need to get done. But what I like about Judge Taylor and some of the judges I named is that they're women, they're mothers. And so they listen to the stories of the young black men. And sometimes they go into the heart of the story, not just the criminal of the story. And they say, what you need is a birth dad. You don't have your birth dad. Let's call Andre Lee Ellis. And they'll send a kid down there to me. And I'm going to tell you this here. Almost every young black boy that I sit in front of me and we're by ourselves alone, and I say to him, where's your dad? It's a breakdown right away. And then I say, son.
So are we talking about like a literal breakdown?
A literal breakdown.
Like
tears or silence.
Silence.
And then I say, what happened? And then they say, you call me son. And I said, what are you?
Lean into the mic, right?
I say, you called me. They say, you call me son. I say, well, what's the problem with that? They say, no one ever called me one. And I've been longing to hear the voice of my father.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this. I got to take a break. But I'm going to tell you this. And I've mentioned this before in different conversations or points. Mark Wade.
One of my favorite people.
He's one of my favorite people sometimes. But he is my brother. And you fight with your brothers. But there is something that he does. He's always done it as long as I've known him. When he interacts with his son, you can be somewhere with Mark and that phone ring and, hey son, all the time. You'll never know little Mark, Mark the second. Hey son, what you doing? Hey son. And I remember because when I would engage with my son, I call him by his name or whatever his nickname is, or baby boy or something like that. And it was something so important. It was endearing, but it was so important about setting up that relationship. You belong to me. You a part of me. And, it's very personal. And I said, I like that. And I'm going to start doing that. So I literally, when my son calls me for a while, I picked that up from Mark. Hey, son, what's happening? Because it meant so much to me to hear this black man engage with his son like that. And it wasn't just, hey, Paul, hey, Joe, what's happening? Hey, hey, Sonny, it was, hey, son. And you understood that's my child.
And it makes you and it equates you with the religious world, the Father, the Son, how important that is, and then it's different than the greetings that they usually get. What up, N word? What up, boy? Or YN or something like that, a term that they're just not real comfortable or happy about. So somebody that says, "Hey, son," I call him our son, and you see many young men, even older men, call me pops. That's my name out there,
Right.
and that's because I have to be in a position, Michelle. I'm not available to the world the way I used to be because I have to be available for our sons. Because sometimes they run to me with a gun in their hand and say, "Before I use it, what should I do?"
I'm gonna take a break on that note, y'all. We will be right back. Tell people that are interested in learning more about the 500 Suits event and the official name for it, how they can reach out to this brother. Let me take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, family, welcome back to the show. Only got a couple minutes left. Got a caller on the line, though. Let's get them in. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I had to call in and wave my hand at Big Brother Lee Ellis. He's a real deal. You know something, Lee, Mr. Ellis, I always think about the couple of times I had to call you to my rescue when we were trying to get that team club going. And they failed us. And I had to go get Mr. Lee Ellis. He got to speak. Then we had the independent age out program. Willie Hines and Girl, Damien Dorf. They shut it down for young boys that aging out of foster care. And they shut us down. I had to come get you for that twice. I had to get you to come before the board of licenses from me. And we got work done. I show people. But them young boys that's aging out, them the boys with the hoodies on right now, when they get out them programs and them foster cares and even the adopted parents. Them the boys on the street, man, with them hoodies, with them things, and you beans hanging out there, and they serious about getting some money. Lee Ellis, I just want to thank you, man, for doing what you're doing. And you know, anytime you got something going, all you got to do is boost it past me, and I'm going to try to get whatever I can to you, man.
Thanks, man. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, you know what I want to say is that this is what really clicked me in when I was at We Got This. Many people know we started the We Got This garden on 9th and Ring, and shout out to the great people over there because they've taken that. Them neighbors are taking that white, black, or whatever, and they are making that into something that is phenomenal now with the amount of gardens and everything that they're doing. But I remember a kid raising his hand there, and I don't even remember this kid's name, and laughing with a joke, and he said, "Mr. Andre, I got a joke." And I said, "What's the joke?" And he said, "I know why black men don't come to the garden." And then I said, "Why?" He said, "Because they might find their son."
Okay, that's deep.
So who's gonna laugh at that?
My
so
God.
Then that drew me in for things. But the 500 Black Tuxedo event is going to be Saturday, December 13th. It's going to be at 100 Gems. 100 Gems is located over on Teutonia Avenue. It's in the 6100 block, right across from the Police and Fire Safety Academy, which is where we're going to take the official photo, because the Milwaukee Fire Department has really been working with us and our young men. We've got about 3 young men that have registered to sign up to become firefighters and working with them. And then we've got a couple of firefighters.
All right, Chief Lipsky.
We've got a couple of firefighters that have really joined forces with us. And Captain Phil Crowcroft, Chris Hall, if I start naming, forget somebody, I'll say AJ, but Diamond, Roger. But they have really set into discipline. If they see the young man doing something, hey, come here, let me tell you why you shouldn't do that. Or they're showing them, so they're putting that in there. So the Black Tuxedo event does mentoring. So it allows young Black boys, 12 to 17 years old, to connect with a mentor that's 18 or over. We gather for mentoring workshops and things like that. And to this year, we're designing it sort of like the rites of passage. Okay. So in the day, so we're talking about wealth, and we're talking about health. Our guest speaker is a young man that is phenomenal in my life, and one of my favorite sons, Michael M.M.
Okay.
With the M.M. group, and I like it because he's putting our stamp in the concrete, and he's building it from the concrete up, and everywhere you look, the M.M. group is doing something. I remember sitting on the porch, son, with you before you started that over there on Highland, where I used to live in that big old house over there, and we sat on the porch, and you told me, all about what you were planning to do, and you're doing that and more. So Mike is going to be our speaker. Kwabena is our host. Muhib and Ajimu are going to perform. I don't know why Jermaine ready to ride out in D-Boy. And
you didn't call me, brother.
You get the memo.
I didn't call you yet, but
somebody got called out.
Now that I know I can.
Call me, brother.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
I got you, because I know exactly what you can do. I'll call your people when we're done.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
What about you,
well, I didn't get the memo.
So now y'all know the rest of y'all can't use that excuse because you got it.
You got it today. You don't call me no more.
But this is how it works. So the men go online to our website, The Cage, MKE, and you register. It's $125 to register because that's the cost of a tuxedo rental. So you rent the tuxedo for the young man. If you have your own tuxedo, there's no additional cost.
Okay.
But if you don't, then you rent your tuxedo from Torrance's House of Thread, because we really try to bring as much money into the community with this event. You got 500 men and boys. That's a good crowd of people coming into your business to shop and buy things. Why would we go anywhere other than where it serves us best?
Right.
So you go to Torrance's. They even have a rack where you can buy your own tuxedo, because a lot of times if you're going to
So you're going to Torrance's over on 76?
Right on 78th and Burleigh.
78th and Burleigh, okay.
So if you're planning to do it over and over again, and we plan to grow this event, actually, we've only got as much as 486 people. We never got to 500.
You never got to 500.
We're going to do it this year. And brothers, you are going to help. And sisters are helping too, because sisters are renting tuxedos for boys, because the 18, 19, 20-year-old mentor may not have the 250, but really want to do it, really want to be there. So when I say to them, I can meet you halfway, they then go.
And I'm going to say this, it's not even just the 18 and the 20-year-old young brother. It's also that older brother that is, retired on a fixed income, Social Security. Like,
sure.
Let's just be candid, I can cover me, but it would be hard to cover somebody else. So, as a sister, I'm happy to step in and help meet brothers, halfway to be able to take care of these young people. Because the one thing I will tell you, and, me and him go to rounds. I talked about him like a dog yesterday on the radio. But Terrence, right. When they took my baby on the college tour, I didn't blink. I handed my son over to these brothers from the community. When I tell you I ain't lose not 5 seconds of sleep, I wasn't worried about him. He might as well have been with my dad and my granddad. I didn't like when he came back home, I was like, oh, you back? Because I knew he was in good hands. And so, brothers have stepped up for me. Brothers in the barbershop, Hutch, Mike Day, Seal, I can just, like you said, you can start naming names of brothers who talked to my son, taught my son things. I never forget when Hutch taught my son how to tie a necktie. I'll never forget it. And my son literally took the necktie and went to the barbershop and got Hutch and said, hey, I need to learn how to tie this tie. See? I didn't know. I could have learned, but I didn't know that. So there are sisters that I know, we want to help and be a part of stuff that helps our young men grow, because these things, whether we appreciate it or not, they are life-changing. When you see yourself, one of my favorite, oh my God, if I watch this video on Instagram one more time, but it's these 3 young Black men that are in college, and they are all going to school to be doctors. And so you see, and they've made updated videos now that they are out of college, finished their residency, and are actually practicing physicians. But so it's funny to see the time lapse that they've done, but they like rapping and they got their shirts and ties and suits on and dancing they locks, just doing their thing. And then they tell you, like, they'll come into the camera range and each one will tell you what type of doctor they were going to be. Then you see them in their scrubs and their residency, and they like, yeah, we own that. Still got the same rap song playing in the background, and you see them doing the residency. Then that final one, them jokers is all falling through there with them white lab coats on, them jackets on, and they made it. They there. And then like one guy, he is a surgeon, and we've watched these young brothers grow up via social media. I made a point to follow them so I could keep up with them. But I had a young brother that I showed that video to. That boy is on the path to becoming a doctor. Because he was like, for him, I had never seen a Black doctor before. And I definitely never seen a 19-year-old, 20-year-old brother with locks on talking about I'm going to med school. I'm majoring in this right now in undergrad, but I'm going to med school. This boy said it didn't dawn on him to think about it, but he realized, he was like, I could do that. Right. And, so he breaking the bank, but he on his way. But it's amazing. It's a small thing. You never know what will change a child's trajectory. It's amazing what they become when you tell them they can. So, and when you show them how. Go ahead. Well, I just want to make sure we pull in why this theme with the health piece?
Oh, because number one, I could have died. Just since June. Since June, I've been in the hospital 8 times because of congestive heart failure. Since June, I've been to the hospital 8 times for congestive heart failure, and the doctors were telling me all kind of things and getting it all wrong. They were giving me more medicine than I need, dehydrating, and so I had to really get into studying and paying attention and being able to ask questions and converse with them about what it was. And when we started working together, things started changing, and that's why I look like I look today. Since June, they've taken 60 pounds of fluid off of my body. I had 60 pounds of fluid on my body, which was disease. So when you see skinny people, real skinny people or bigger people, and they got that big stomach, the first thing that I would say is go and check and make sure that your body doesn't get you a primary doctor, find out, make sure your fluid weight in your body is leaving, making sure that you are urinating every day, a few times a day, and getting that stuff out, and that you stop eating at a certain time at night. So men especially don't go to the doctor, especially black men. There's a low percentage of them that have primary doctors. There's a need for more of us to know. So at the Black Tuxedo event, most of our vendors will be health resource vendors. So you can get your blood pressure checked, you can check on your diabetes, you can find out about your heart disease, any question you have, even if you need to go into a private consultation, because you almost always discover someone that has high blood pressure and may need to go to the hospital immediately to get checked on, because people just don't know that low blood pressure, high blood pressure could be detrimental to your life. So that's why the health and the mental trauma that is plaguing our community. We have 16, 15, 17-year-old boys that don't care about dying, that are worried about getting shot. They're more concerned about shooting somebody and then having a shootout, or what they'll do. They say, I didn't think I had a young man did a birthday post on Facebook, and he said in his post, K. Manuel, since he put it out there, he said in his post, I didn't think I would live past 16 years old, and I'm 17 today. And so I made it, is what he said. 17 he said,
I made it.
But we don't know what they see in the dark, because you don't see the bullets, you just see the flash. You know what I'm saying? So at night when they're out there, we scared to come out of our house, or we don't even know where our children are. And I can't tell you how many sons are on GPS where their parents are keeping track of them by phone, where they are in the town, or things like that are going on. And so our young men are mentally challenged. I think how you eat, how you grow food, how you learn that, how you learn community changes that. There's just not enough conversation. And the groups of us that are working with young black men, we had better start working together and stop playing and faking like we trying to. We better start working together. Nobody has to be the best one or anything. We just have to be effective with the one or the 1,000 that we work with, because then that's 1,001 that we're affecting.
It's interesting. I just was having this conversation with someone yesterday. I am one of the co-chairs for my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, for their social action committee. And one of the things I said is, I was talking to another Greek person from another sorority. And one of the things I said to her, I said, when we talk about the Divine Nine, those 9 historically Black fraternities and sororities, there's a lot of weight and power that goes with that. But as I'm looking for the upcoming midterm elections and trying to make sure we are educating people about how politics and civic engagement can, to an extent, I won't say save us, but certainly empower us to have better outcomes. But these groups, have not always, like locally, been on the same page. Like, hey, we can all come together and work on this one event. More bang, more buck for the buck, bigger impact. And everybody don't always have a team, that you can pull to the table. So getting a lot of these storied institutions and groups, to your point about people working in that space with young brothers, or in that arena with young brothers to say, hey, y'all, we not competitors. You know, we got the
completers.
same. Yeah.
We're completers.
I like that. Completers. You know, many times we got the same goal. We arrive there differently, but we go into the same place. The destination is the same. Sometimes hitch a ride. You know, I ain't got to go create a whole new program.
Or how about this program? Running Rebels had a program 300 strong.
Yes, I remember.
300 strong. And I just said to Vic the other day, we need to bring that back because I always felt this concept with 300 strong. 300 strong. If we had 10 groups that work with young black boys in the city, and every time each one of us had to do something, we were responsible for bringing 30 people. Right. Every time any one of us had something, it would start off 300 strong.
I like that. Because I mean, and that's the whole piece about collaboration. You know, you want to hold town halls and forums and, you know, advocacy training and teaching events. Make sure these other organizations, we all at the table, everybody bringing their people. So it's easier to fill a room. It's easier to impact more people, have greater reach if we all show up together.
More people, more young people and people, period, would stop shooting guns if they could win more.
Well, the one thing, I don't know if this is a part of the component, but knowing you, it most likely is. I'm always going to advocate for civic engagement, for young brothers learning early. Like if I can make every young black child sit down and watch Becoming Thurgood, if I could just, because I just would want to hear what they would have to say after watching that documentary and hearing from his own words why he was in the fight and how using the law has afforded them the things that they have in life right now that some people don't even know is important. Exactly. Or that they take it for granted. You know, you didn't even realize a brother made this happen. So Dre, I just want to tell you, I appreciate the work that you do. You know, I'm so sorry I mixed up the dates and got it wrong, but I'm glad you were gracious and not, you know, irritable.
Well, maybe as we get closer to it, I can come back and tell you of its progress because Milwaukee, we're going to win. I don't care what anybody say.
And I did have a sister hit me up and say she's willing to pay for a child.
So, okay. And then she could just, anybody that want to do that, just go to the Cage MKE and you could do that. 125 registers you. The Cage MKE men that are 18 and over, you would be mentors. You go there and register. If you have a son, 12, or you know a boy on the block, 12 to 17 years old, he can go for free. Everything is free for him.
Not the 18-year-old?
Not the 18-year-old becomes a mentor. That's why we're the mentor to the 12-year-old. And the reason that I do that is because those are the ones connecting to the young person. And a lot of times they're telling the young person, go on over there and stop, or leading them in the wrong way. Okay. And so we want to bring them into the world. I had an 11-year-old boy. My heart was broken. I know I got to hurry up. Was so broken last week. A mother called me and said, can you just sneak my 11-year-old in? I said, not to the tuxedo event, because so many people would be mad at me if they found out that I did that. And so what I said is bring them down here today. And he can come with us on Saturdays, even though that's a 12 to 17-year-old program too. We're going to bring him in at 11. So he came in at 11 last week, and I could tell that this little boy was excited to be there. In the end, he didn't even know this, but when he got his $40 from me, it looked like a tear gathered in his eye. And his mother wrote a post on Facebook saying how much that meant to him and to her to find that. And we need to make sure that young black boys can find that wherever they go, never be turned away. Your boy Khalil that came in, went back to live with his dad, and he's doing better than he was. He's doing really, really good in school. We're excited.
All right, y'all. Well, any opportunity I have to uplift brothers, uplift black men in our community. I love the whole full circle moment that the event is being held at 100 Gems. That's black men. Tuxedos coming from Torrance's House of Threads. That's black men. Entertainment, speakers, guests, moderators, black men, put on by black men. I'm telling you, and even though the sponsors can come from anywhere and anybody that wants to help, that idea of helping oneself and being what we've been waiting for is huge. So, Trey,
real quick, can I just tell you this? I want to put a challenge out. Debo, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I want to challenge 3 black businesses out there, 3 businesses that really want to contribute this to the community. I want to see 3 businesses due to the Black Tuxedo event buy some airtime from WNOV and help us push this event so that we could get to 500. Next year, we want to call it the 1,000 Black Tuxedos, and we want to include other cities. Other cities want to come to Milwaukee and participate if we can make that happen. Can I do that?
Well, I tell people all the time, dream big, man. You know, I've done events, and when me and Lena talked about that when we did Black Advocacy Day at the State Capitol, that started in a Senate parlor in a room with about 25 people. Yeah. And we grew that to the point that it ends up with guest speakers like Hakeem Jeffries, brother Hassan Jeffries coming in to speak, mayor out of Mississippi. We reception at the governor's residence, got little black kids, 6 years old. Mama's taking them up to the governor's residence to meet the governor, got pictures they were sending back. And, so we dreamed big, and it was always the next level, the next level, the next level. This next year we going to DC. See? Those same people we was taking to the state capitol. Now we taking them to DC.
I'm going to steal your words. I'm going to steal your words. And listen, at the 500 Black Tuxedo, I'm incorporating this today. We dreaming big.
There you go.
We can dream big. It's gonna happen. Can we get a T-shirt done? Okay, so Chevy, Mayor Johnson, County Executive Crawley. So y'all know those are my sons. I'm calling them by their names. Don't run from me. Run to me. I need what you got to help us get this done. Do it.
All right. With that being said, DeAndre can't be here. Black people, I can't stand them. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to wrap the show for this week. I got my tangerine. I guess I got my breakfast with my baked beans. I appreciate the bros in the studio, all of them. Superman in the back, Clark Kent. Appreciate you too. Yeah. All right, family. I will talk to y'all next week. Be safe in the meantime. And remember, if you are interested in what the Wisconsin Legislative Black Caucus is doing tonight, again, they are going to be God dang it, they're 5 to 7 p.m. Wait, there's one more person that hit me, and there it is, 5 to 7 p.m. What's the name of the place? Century City Tower, 4201 North 27th Street. Building a Black Policy Agenda. They're having the last leg on their statewide listing tour. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.